You're about to listen to a Metal Express Radio exclusive interview. Head on over to metalexpressradio.com for our latest rock and metal interviews. And while you're there, check out our web radio, read our reviews, and rock and metal news. Enjoy the interview.
Hi, this is Mick Burgess, and I'm backstage at the Manchester Arena with Scott Phillips from Alderbridge. Scott, how are you doing?
Good.
Right. Tonight's the last show of your UK tour. How have you enjoyed being in the UK again?
It's been phenomenal. It's been a great experience. The last time we were here was 2011, I think, about the same time a couple years ago. The shows have been great. The crowds have been better than we could have possibly expected, and we're happy to be closing out our UK run here in Manchester.
Because it's just been getting bigger and bigger. I think the first time I saw you, you were in the academies, the small clubs.
Yeah.
And now you're in the huge arena here, 20,000 seater.
Yeah, how times have changed.
You must have mixed feelings now that the tour's almost over.
Yeah. Europe and the UK specifically are an area that we always try to get back to 2 or 3 times per album cycle. So we're sad to be leaving, today, but we'll definitely be back summer of 2014, and then probably towards the winter of 2014 as well, and hopefully playing the same venues and adding more fans as we go. Tonight is the last night that Shinedown is going to be with us. Halestorm's doing the rest of Europe with us, so we're excited about that. But sorry to be losing Shinedown off the tour. I think this is one of the guys was saying this is probably the 250th show that they've done on this album cycle, which is insane compared to most, at least the way that we've toured. So I know those guys are ready to get home, and we've really enjoyed having them over here. They're a phenomenal band and have been friends for a while.
Because it's a great package having Shinedown and Halestorm on the same bill. Who came up with that idea?
That was something that had been discussed between us and our management and booking agent here and our booking agent abroad. It just seemed like a good fit. We've known the guys from Halestorm and gals from Halestorm for a while, and have been friends. We had a mutual friend that kind of got us in contact with each other, and just thought it would be a great fit. There were a list of a few bands for direct support, and when Shinedown's name came up as being interested, and I think that was enough for us. We definitely wanted to have them a part of this.
I mean, just having 2 great bands coming on before you keep you on your toes.
It definitely does. And they're all very, very seasoned. Halestorm's been out for a while, and like I said, Shinedown's been, done hundreds of dates on this album cycle, and this is, our 6th or 7th show for us. So we're definitely having to play catch up pretty quick.
Yeah. Because, like I said before, you played the UK several times over the last few years. Each time the venue's getting bigger and bigger. Mm-hmm. What sort of production have you got for the current tour, stage-wise?
We kicked around a bunch of ideas, bringing out video, not bringing out video. We ended up doing what we feel is a really dynamic lighting package, and just kind of kept it sort of to the core, make sure the band's still the focus of the show. I think, the next few trips over here we'll start to add more and more production, but this is by far the most that we've carried over here compared to the last trip that we did through the UK, which was pretty much just specifically a lighting package, I think. And
do you sometimes miss the intensity of a club show, or would you rather be in the place you're at now and have that choice?
I would have to say I'm pretty happy with where we are right now. The academies and clubs and all those other venues were great, and certainly a part of the Alderbridge history. And who knows, maybe years from now we end up back in a place like that. But I'm certainly enjoying the moment.
Yeah. Because you just released your 4th album, Fortress. How many songs will we be playing from the album tonight?
We've been doing between 4 and 5 a night, and we're trying to rotate in new songs as the album's been out, a week or so longer here than in the U.S. As more and more fans get familiar with the material, that we're trying to introduce new songs as we go. but still keep a good balance of One Day Remains and Blackbird and AB3 as well in there. So it's not just Fortress songs with a few others. We want to make sure the crowd, gets what they came to see.
So which ones off the new album are going down well so far?
I would have to say we opened with Addicted to Pain. At least we're currently opening with Addicted to Pain, and that seems to get a great response. Cry of Achilles, which is the first song off the album, always gets a fantastic response every night, and we're certainly will be playing that this evening, and probably from here on out for quite a while. It's gotten such a great response for not being a single and not being being a new song. A few others, I'm trying to think of the others that we actually did. I think we're talking about adding Calm the Fire, which is, as we've seen online, that fans really want to see that perform live. So that's one that I think we're going to add in the very immediate future, if not within a couple hours.
Yes.
We're going to try and rotate them in and out, so fans that come to multiple shows. We know that we've got a lot of fans, especially in the UK, that'll come to all 6 shows or whatever. And we want to try as much as possible to give them a different show every night, even if it's sort of based around the same hymnal set list.
And just doing What Is Rising with Mark saying give
we've been
Miles a bit of a rest.
We've been doing that in the last couple nights, and that's gotten a great response as well. So.
You must be really pleased with the reaction that Fortress has got. I think it's been uniformly getting great reviews across the board, really.
Yeah, we're extremely happy and pleased and glad that everybody's enjoyed that record and the fact that it's a little bit different than what we've done in the past, and we've kind of changed up the arrangements and sort of let the muso side of us, the musicianship side, kind of come to the forefront even a little bit more than it has on other records, and people really seem to enjoy that. Because
it's your highest charting album in the UK as well, so it's nice to come over and tour literally weeks after that news was just broken.
Yeah. No, it's we couldn't be happier right now.
Yeah. So when did you start work on the album? We
started the writing process, I guess, probably December of last year. We had Miles had finished up with us last year. We finished up with the last of the Creed tour that we had done. Got together at Mark's house right before the holidays and worked for a week or two and sort of threw out some ideas and started getting a concept of what this album was going to feel like. And then from middle of January on, other than a couple of weeks, I know Mark, I think, actually maybe came over here in February. So during February, we kind of took a break. Miles was back out with Slash, and then I guess it was probably about mid-March. Everybody got back together and really kind of hunkered down. And
Mark doing his Tremonti, you're doing Creed and your projected album as well, and Miles with Slash. Does working with those outside of the band sort of help you bring fresh ideas in?
I think to some extent it does. It certainly gives you a different influence. For me as a drummer, for sure, playing with be it a different singer, different guitar players, especially with the projected CD, where John Connolly from Seven Dust, that was sort of his baby, and he's a different player than Mark is rhythmically, and it sort of changed my perspective on drumming and how I approached that record. And I think that influence kind of came back into this record. I'm sure Mark doing Tremonti Project, which was a lot more metal, compared to the stuff that Alter Bridge had done. That his influence on making that record and then coming back in certainly had an influence on this as well. Yeah,
because you worked again with Michael Elvis Basquet as producer. Well, how does he influence you in the studio?
Elvis is just a great sounding board. He's got great ideas and isn't scared. A lot of producers that we've worked with in the past, which are great producers, but they've always tried to kind of simplify things and make it more easily digestible for radio or for the listener. And Elvis is kind of the opposite. He really wants to push, whatever musicians he's got in the studio. He wants to bring out the best in them as songwriters, but also as musicians. And that was something that we learned right off the bat when we started working with him on Blackbird.
Yeah.
And he really felt like a producer that got what this band was about and wasn't trying to conform it or change it into something else. and that's continued on from album to album to album, and we love working with them.
Because Alter Bridge as a unit has been, it's the same lineup that you've had since day one, and you've worked obviously with Mark and Brian in Creed. So what is it about the unit that keeps you sort of sane together?
I don't know. We all get along together. I mean, everybody's got their personality quirks, but we all understand each other, and there's certainly a comfort level there as a person, and certainly as a musician, where I think we during a songwriting process or a live performance, you can kind of finish each other's thoughts, and where if somebody starts to go off on a tangent, where you're going to land, and we don't get on each other's nerves too bad, and that's certainly a big thing when you're stuck on a bus for hundreds of days at a time. We've all become family over the years. But
does that ability to sort of take a step back and do something different with other musicians, does that sort of give you some breathing space as well?
Yeah, sure. It certainly does.
Because you've done, as you mentioned a bit earlier, your side project Projected. You've got Creed, you've got Alter Bridge. Do you not fancy putting your feet up for a few months and taking some time off?
Nowadays, it seems like you got to be in 2 or 3 bands to actually make a living doing this now. It's such a different business than when I started. But I don't know. I think, we've all played together for so long. And enjoy that, certainly enjoy that, but I think everybody has a creative outlet that, after a while you're like, I wouldn't mind trying something like this, or, and I think that's part of, Mark going off to do that, and Miles doing Slash, and Miles has got a solo record that he's done and it hasn't been released yet, but he recorded it 2 or 3, 4 years ago, I think, so I'm sure that'll see the light of day at some point. I've been, even if it's just local guys that are looking for a drummer to do a couple songs, I've gone.
Do it for the love of playing.
Yeah, just for the love of playing, and I think it makes all of us better players to go out of your comfort zone and try to tackle something new, and then bring that back to home.
There's still the tentacles of Alter Bridge are still stretching into Projected. Because Eric Friedman worked on Tremonti's record as well. So there's a lot of intermingling.
There is, and I think that's what makes it fun. It's sort of it reminds me of kind of the early '90s, sort of that Temple of the Dog, where you had Pearl Jam and Soundgarden guys come together and make music that I was certainly a huge fan of, and I think it just shows that there's a lot of camaraderie and not so much competition between artists now, and it's everybody just wants to make music together.
What did Projected allow you to do that you say you couldn't do in Creed or Alter Bridge?
I don't know that there's anything that I couldn't have done. I think it was just a different style. The only guitar player that I'd ever played with ever, was pretty much Mark the whole time. And like I said earlier, John it is rhythmically a different player, a different style of writer, and it made me approach those songs differently than maybe I would have if it was a song that Mark had written or Miles had written. It was a fun challenge, and really had a great time doing it. And there's talks of doing another record at some point soon.
Do you think you're going to do some live shows together? If you have some time?
I hope so. I mean, none of us seem to have any time within the next couple of years that we're going to be able to do anything much other than Alter Bridge, which is fine by me. But I think the next time that if we get a chance to do another Projected record, that we'll definitely try and sit down ahead of time and look at everybody's schedule and figure out not only a chance to do an album, but to actually do a tour to support that record. And that was something that we wanted to do with this last record, but other than if Seven Dust was off, the tough thing was getting E-Rock, because any chance, Alter Bridge was off, Mark was going to go out and do solo stuff, so we had to figure out if there's a chance that maybe Tremonti Project and Projected could go out together, and then kind of share members along the way. But we'll see. That's definitely down the road somewhere.
So what did Brian do while the other guys were off?
I have no idea what he did. I know he he had a son earlier this year, which is an adorable kid. Moved. He was living in the middle of the U.S. with his girlfriend, and they ended up moving to Florida earlier this year. Other than that, I don't know. I mean, I know that he's wanted to get out and do some session work as well, but I think.
Well, I think having a baby is a good excuse.
Yeah,
that's hard work.
Pretty good excuse to kind of take care of what you need.
Stick with the drumming.
Exactly.
What about Creed? Is there any plans for a new record there yet?
No, honestly, not that I see in any foreseeable future. We had some material that we were working on. All of last year we spent doing Creed stuff, and we had a couple of windows that we thought we were going to go and record some new material. If it wasn't a full record, at least an EP or something new to give to Creed fans. And I think, sort of hindsight being 2020, looking back on it, I think we kind of squandered some opportunities where maybe we couldn't all get on the same page and same recording schedule, and the opportunity just kind of passed us by. Had a great tour. We basically did theaters around the U.S. and performed Human Clay from front to back every night, and sometimes we did multiple nights where we would do My Own Prison and Human Clay, and everybody really seemed to enjoy that. I had a great time doing that. There's a lot of songs that I hadn't played in a decade that I got a chance to play.
Would some UK shows at some point?
It had been talked about. We did manage to get down to South America, which was we had never been down there before, so that was really enjoyable.
It seems like Alderbridge made the mark to more of an extent than say Creed did over in the UK and Europe.
Yeah,
whereas it's probably the other way around in America.
Yeah, it is. It is.
So tonight's your last show in the UK. Are you over into Europe after this?
We are. We've got tomorrow off in Paris and then perform there Thursday. And then after that, I have no clue where we are.
Yes.
I know I won't be home. So we're over here until the 16th of November. Fly home on the 17th, and then we're home for the holidays, and then we'll start up a U.S. tour shortly after that, and then off to Australia and so wherever else we can get taken.
Busy times ahead, so you'll be booking in your 2017 holidays now.
Yeah.
Well, Scott, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Best of luck with the rest of the last date tonight.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
European shows, and the album's great.
Thank you very much.
All the best.
Awesome.
You just listened to a Metal Express Radio exclusive interview. Head on over to metalexpressradio.com for our latest rock and metal interviews. And while you're there, check out our web radio, read our reviews, and rock and metal news.